Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of the Help on the Way podcast, where we are featuring December 15th, 1994, from the Los Angeles Sports Arena in Los Angeles, California. I am your co-host, The Game, here with my fellow co-host, Snob and Fig. Let's go ahead and give him an old O.J. Simpson speeding down the LA freeway. Hello, friends.
What?
Is that what West LA Fadeaway is about?
Oh,
Yes, it is.
Wow. I had no idea. Well, hello, friends.
I don't know why OJ came into my mind when I started thinking about LA, but I thought him was running in the Bronco.
what year is our show we're listening to from?
1994.
Oh.
And when did OJ do his?
I think OJ had done his thing by now.
1994.
Was it 94? Was he running
Yeah.
in 94?
Yeah, I hate that I know this off the top of my head, but it's because they did a Fish show that same day. It's June 17th, 1994.
See, it wasn't that far apart.
You're right.
No, I was commending you for a very well put together joke.
Wait, what did Fish play in LA, or it's just like, oh, Fish played?
They played a show that day, and the chase started happening during the set break, and the band backstage watched the video or like the footage on the news. And then they came out and they just kept referencing OJ during the set, and no one in the audience had any idea what the hell was going on because it was 1994 and no one had cell phones or anything like that. Back in the good old days.
Wasn't there like a major like Phil Lesh concert on? Wait, no,
So
not Phil Lesh.
The Grateful Dead were playing on June 17th, 1994.
Wow.
Not Phil Lesh, John Tesh. Is that the name? Yes.
No, John Tesh is on Entertainment Tonight.
No, he's an American pianist and composer.
I like it because you got
Is
to the
this
Wikipedia
Teshpod?
article at the exact point that I got to the Wikipedia article.
John Tesh, 1994, OJ.
He wrote the NBA on NBC basketball theme Round Ball Rock.
There's a funny SNL sketch about John Tesh doing that.
John Tesh, live at Red Rocks, 1995. See, our paths are crossing right now.
That's 1995.
Why are we talking? Is this a Tesh pod?
Yes, this is a Tesh pod and an OJ pod. It's an everything pod. I guess, starting the show correctly, we are once again featuring December 15th, 1994, the LA Sports Arena in Los Angeles, California. But before we dive into that hot main event of a show, we are going to kick off our wild and wonderful Channel 6 news segment. And we only have one item on the docket this week. However, it is a celebratory item, as there is someone or something turning 45 years old.
Is it Fig?
Soon.
Fig feels 45 at times.
No, it is not Fig. It is Shakedown Street, the album. It was released November 15th, 1978. And it was recorded between July 31st and August 18th, 1978. So a fairly quick turnaround from recording time to release.
Yeah.
A short album as well, only 39 minutes and 4 seconds in total length, 5 tracks per side. And a quick rundown of that album is as follows. Track 1 kicked off with Good Lovin'. Then we got France, the very disco Shakedown Street, Serengeti, and then side 1 ended with Fire on the Mountain. Side 2 gave us I Need a Miracle and From the Heart of Me, staggerly all new Minglewood Blues, and If I Had the World to Give. I know we don't normally review shows in our Channel 6 or albums in our Channel 6 news segment, rather. But I believe Fig gave us all some homework today to see if we could fit this
45-year-old Fig.
Yes, to see if we could fit a quick listen in on this album, and I know I did. Thoughts from Figure Knob on Shakedown Street, the album.
I'll jump in with some, since Knob is writing something on the little show sheet here. It's not my 45th birthday. I'll jump in. I really like this album. I like it a lot. I don't think it's well produced. I don't think it sounds excellent. And for some reason, my brother gave me these like bookshelf speakers, like studio quality speakers, and the album sounded terrible on these speakers. Like it was all bass. I don't know if I have to fiddle around with stuff. I don't really know what I'm doing. However, I listened to it, and the songs are great. The sound's not so great. But I love France. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Like I am a huge, huge France head.
Wow.
This is a song for the audience that who may not know. Is a song that only appears on this album. The band never tried it live. It is a Mickey Hart, Robert Hunter, Bobby Weir production, and it's Bobby and Donna just crooning together, and they sing very well together. And it's the thing that gets me for France is there's some catchiness to it. It sounds a little exotic, but the rhythms, the polyrhythms that are going on, I don't know what is happening. I don't know how to follow the song. It always makes my ears like it always tricks my ears, and it just really it gets my goat. Is France. I know that's probably my biggest Shakedown Street hot take. That's about it. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts about my France fandom.
Yeah,
my France-dom.
I was listening to France earlier with these kind of thoughts in mind, considering that France is widely regarded by Deadheads to be one of the weaker efforts of the band.
Yeah,
I think
like universally.
I think it is better than people say it is, but like not much. I'm not a huge France head. It's the thing with France is it just really doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't sound like the Dead. Besides the Bobby and Donna harmonies, nothing here sounds like what I come to the Grateful Dead for. It sounds a little too yacht rocky.
Ooh.
And I know that's a common criticism of the song, but it's true. It just is a little too mellow to quite do anything that like really wows me, but it's not a bad song. I will definitely say it is better than people give it credit for, but I would not join you in Francedom.
No Francedom. Game
No
Francedom? Yeah, your name. Peter Francedom. Francedom comes alive.
Nice.
I'm indifferent on France. I will agree with you though on some of the recording quality, but not for everything. Like I think Shakedown Street was very well produced.
Oh yeah,
the studio version.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't. I think it was From the Heart of Me, or maybe it was France. But I think it was From the Heart of Me because Donna on lead vocals. It was just muddy.
Great song, by the way.
Excellent song.
Excellent
but
song.
she was so hard to hear.
yeah.
like it was really like cranking it up to have her come through, and I'm like, I know my car speakers, like, while they're shit, they're not that shit. Like just like way buried in the mix. So not every song, but a lot of them.
Yeah. I've also never been huge on the studio version of Good Lovin'. To me, it really lacks the oomph and energy that you want out of this song.
Especially for an album opener.
Yes, it's always... Also, this album is just tracked weird.
Yeah.
I do not know what the right order is for these songs, but I know that New Minglewood Blues is not second to last. And I know Good Lovin' is not the opener. But no, there are a lot of songs that I think sound quite good. Shakedown Street. I like the Fire on the Mountain studio version.
I like Jerry's solo on Fire on the Mountain.
Yeah.
Like it just does it. It just does it for me.
I agree. I think I need a miracle. Yeah, oh definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Miracle
a lot of
I like.
harmonica on this album. You know, for a Disco Dead album, right? I'm in quotations, you can't see that. But for a Disco Dead album, there's a lot of harmonica. And I think that was the one producer from Little Feat, if I'm correct.
No.
Lowell
Lowell
George.
George was not much of a
He
harmonica
didn't do the. So
player.
who did the
Matt
harmonica?
Kelly.
Oh,
Yes.
of getting punched in the balls by
I was gonna
Mickey
say
Hart fame?
of King Kreutzmann punched him in the
Oh,
balls.
Kreutzmann, exactly.
Mickey threw drumsticks at him during the Nassau
Excuse me.
show. Previously on the Help on the
Very
Way
interesting.
podcast.
As everybody knows. I will say Serengeti is a letdown. That is a Hart and Kreutzmann, Rhythm Devils instrumental, and it's just very just chugs along and doesn't do anything.
It's in and out. It's
Yeah, like
I listened to it today, the whole thing while driving, and I even had to because I remember seeing Serengeti on the track list.
Yeah.
But I was like,
what is that?
I'm like, did I hear Serengeti?
Oh
Like-
yeah, yeah. It's kind of
Like, I
snuck
went
in there.
back.
Before.
Yeah, I went
Maybe
back
it's
and
a-
I'm like, oh, there it is.
Maybe it's a prelude to Fire. Maybe that's the idea there.
If Drums in Space were the length of Serengeti, I would never miss. I would never miss one. Never miss one.
And if they went into Fire in the Mountain,
Even better.
the last thing I'll say is, if I had the world to give, is a quality song, Garcia Hunter. In my opinion, it sounds like and I'm not knocking this. It sounds like a George Harrison song, just like the chord changes, the general
I can hear that.
flow of the song.
I like that you had to
the
clarify that
themes.
you're not knocking it because you are a
Well,
known George hater.
I kind of am. always have been. Beatles lover, George hater. Yeah, I know Knob feels differently about that. However,
true.
if
We're not
I had the
getting
world to
into it, though.
give, it's good George Harrison. It's good George Harrison.
Moving on
Thank
to
you.
our main moving on to our main event of the evening. December 15th, 1994, LA Sports Arena in Los Angeles, California. Let's just go right into set number one. Set one kicked off with a Shakedown Street into Wang Doodle, Lazy River Road, Me and My Uncle into Mexicali Blues, Row Jimmy, and then it wrapped up with The Promised Land. Fig, what were your thoughts on set numero uno?
Nice.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's a little Espanol for our listeners. My thoughts are that I need to stop eating popcorn because it's very hard to podcast and eat popcorn at the same time. This is a soundboard recording. I was listening to the Charlie Miller 24-bit. Why did I pick the 24-bit? Because it's a higher number. And that's the extent of my knowledge about why I picked the 24-bit. But that's accessible on the archive, and there's a bunch of other sources as well. Shakedown. Excellent version of Shakedown. All the musicians come out swinging, and it immediately made me do that thing where my head is bopping to a different rhythm than the rest of my body. So my legs are doing one thing, my head is nodding a different way. For me, that's how I know when the Grateful Dead are on, and they were on right away. Pretty long version of Shakedown Street, because there's just a long outro jam, which doesn't really go anywhere, but it was fun as hell, and I could see myself in the crowd in December of '94, and I could have gone. I was of an age that I would have to be chaperoned, but that could have happened. Just because my age is now part of the podcast. However,
you would have been what, 30 in 1994?
Yeah, I had to bring the kids in '94. It wouldn't have been as fun for me, but they would have loved it. You do a lot for you guys. You have to sacrifice,
Went to this hot new place called Starbucks for the very first time. It's crazy.
I could see it being fun as hell being in the crowd in December of '94. And again, it's '94. You don't know what you're gonna get, and the band sounds great. Just party. It's fun. It's what it's all about. We get into Wang Dang Doodle again. Lots of fun. Rhythm Devils have a great backbeat on this one. Phil is all over the place with this kind of slinky little bass, kind of cheeky bass playing there. Vince's solo remind me of Raymond Zarek. I like Wang Dang Doodle. Usually that's not when I rate that highly, but this was fun. Just very fun. Lazy River Road. Okay, no one ever called that fun, but I did call it a perfect version of a very sweet song. It was very well played, very well sung as well by Jerry.
Mhm.
Me and my uncle was just okay. We get Bob playing acoustic guitar, I believe, in Uncle and Mexicali Blues. Mexicali was a very fast, very fun version. I could see the crowd again in my mind's eye just doing a polka party because it was definitely one of those polka versions of the song. And we go into an excellent wrote Jimmy. I wrote excellent emotionality out of Jerry's vocals. The first solo was very good and very heartfelt. I think the second time I listened to it, I just wrote, this is just absolutely beautiful. And I was really liking Vince's flourishes, his little piano flourishes throughout, really added to the song. And the first set ends in The Promised Land, which is a good rocking version. Again, I like the Rhythm Devils putting in an excellent deep pocket. I liked Vince's Boogie Woogie grand piano solo. And that was my thoughts on the first set of December 15th, 94. And I'll kick it over to my good friend, Knob. And I'm going to eat more popcorn.
Nom nom nom.
Very good. Very good. I mean, honestly, I agree with pretty much everything that you've said here.
Wow. Okay. Game over.
I know. Your
Good
thoughts
night.
on set one are pretty much my thoughts on set one. Yeah, it is an excellent shakedown to start. I wouldn't call it an all-timer or anything, but it is incredibly good. I often find with Dead shows, it usually takes them a song or two to get in the groove. Usually by like song 3, I'm really into it. This show got me from song 1. There's some really nice Phil and Jerry interplay throughout. I love what Vince is adding both with his like MIDI horns. There's this little part that he keeps adding that I really like.
Yeah.
And he has these like scoopy harmonies that have surprisingly good energy. The jam is fun, it builds, and then it kind of
I know what
simmers.
you're talking about. Scoopy,
Yeah.
I like that. Evocative. Thank you. Good job.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, of course.
I do think the jam does get a little lost before going back in. At first, they simmer on purpose, but then it feels like they don't know where to go, and then just go back to Shakedown's chorus. But it is a very fun, really strong rendition. Wang Dang Doodle's also a lot of fun. The rhythm section adds some great bounce. Vince's organ solo is great. It's just a really tight rendition. I'm also with you. This is a really good Lazy River Road. I still hope this is an interesting episode of the podcast with us agreeing all the time. But it is. It's a really solid rendition. I like this song, but I will admit that it can sometimes deflate the energy. It can suck the air out of a set. This, however, features a really good tempo, a really good groove, and a lot of contributions from the band, and especially Jerry, to keep it lively and interesting. Me and My Uncle is just alright. It's solid. Playful and lively vocals from Bob that really complement the storytelling, but the band is a little busy in its underscoring. Everyone is trying to play a cool part, and no one's cool part is really able to shine, which is also how I feel about Mexicali. It's boppy, it's got a really fun energy, and I really do enjoy the verses, like the sung, the composed parts of this song. But when we get to the jam, it does feel a little lost. It's that 90s Dead thing where everyone is just playing their own cool part without listening to each other. It's the Me and My Uncle Mexicali is probably my least favorite part of set 1, but I wouldn't call it bad by any stretch. Road Jimmy, I was a little bored with on first listen, but was wowed by on second listen.
Nice.
This was a grower Road Jimmy for me.
Isn't that great when that happens?
Yeah.
Like that's kind of one of the cool parts about the podcast is like you might put on, like if you stumbled on the 12/15/94, and I don't know if I would believe you if you said you did. I would call shenanigans. Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, some people like it, but like I wouldn't. However, I wouldn't listen to it twice, right? So like,
Sure.
Yeah. So and that's when some of this stuff really comes out. So go ahead, yeah.
Yeah. No, that's what really shines for me. I mean, outside of the handful of words he forgets, Jerry sounds really good on this, both vocally and in his guitar. It is probably the most melodic and emotional solos you get in set 1, especially that first solo, which I think very highly of. It really took me the second time around, and I long time or short time listeners of the pod will know that I'm not a huge Ro Jimmy person, but this one did it for me. And then a really rockin' Promised Land to close out the set. It's not the strongest Jerry solo of the night, but the whole thing is just a lot of fun, and it is a great way to close out an incredibly fun first set. So, game, what did you think?
It was all good.
Yeah.
All of it. Shakedown Street was awesome. I really wasn't expecting them to go so hard on a December '94 Shakedown Street.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we can't remind the listeners enough that this is a '94 show.
Yeah, that's and maybe if this was an '89 show, I wouldn't be so excited. But this was good. Shakedown Street was excellent. Wang Doodle was fun. Lazy River Road, I really enjoyed it. And that is not something I normally enjoy, but this was a good one. Me and my uncle Mexicali Blues were good. Ro Jimmy was good, and Promised Land was great. Not a bad word to say from me on set one. Excellent from start to finish. With Shakedown by far being the highlight. Set two kicked off with everyone's favorite Foolish Heart into a Way to Go Home, into Corrina, into Uncle John's band. Then we got Drums and Space. Then we got The Last Time, and then set two ended with Morning 2, and our encore was Liberty. Knob, what were your thoughts on set two?
Also had a good time with set 2. Okay, I'll get into it. Foolish Heart is a fun way to start set 2. It's a very dreamy jam. In general, there's a really interesting soundscape being presented to us. Bobby gets some nice squeals. The jam has a really nice build to it, and it really nails the landing. I am very impressed with the jam in this Foolish Heart.
Yeah.
Huge on the composed parts. Jerry gets a little lost. He forgets the words. The underscoring can get a little bit busy. And Foolish Heart in general is a very delicate balancing act. It's a very good song. It is very easy to play too much on Foolish Heart.
Right.
This I found they were falling into a little too much for me. I will say that Phil is doing some really great work. In general, this is a strong Phil night, but this is a fun one for him. I think I'm coming around on Way to Go Home. I think I like it as a song. I've been a long time Samba in the Rain defender, but I'm kind of really vibing with the last few Way to Go Homes I've heard. Maybe I'm just broken, but I'm really coming around on it. This is a really nice.
Just broken.
We
know you're broken, Knob.
You're right. I'm now broken in a new and different, and some would say interesting way.
Your therapist would say Stockholm Syndrome.
Yeah. I'm only fractured and just a little nervous from the fall.
Aww.
Anyway. Yeah, this is just a nice head bobbing Way to Go Home. Vinny gets really into it vocally. I love the caterwauling on the bridge. The energy is just great. And it honestly leads to one of Jerry's hottest solos of the night. I also just really appreciate a 90s dead song that can turn its dynamics on a dime like that. The way the song is able to get loud and then suddenly get quiet in the interest of building anticipation and energy is just very cool. It's very fun. I love when dead songs sound like that. And this is a really good example of that. I didn't expect to go this hard for Way to Go Home when we started listening to this show, or honestly, when we started this recording. But I stand by these intense emotions I'm feeling. Didn't you completely
change your mind?
That is true. Okay.
From the beginning of, from the prospect of listening to it to actually listen to it.
Okay. Yeah, I'll admit that when the vamp started, the note that I just wrote down was "Hello, darkness, my old friend." But that is now I like it.
Is your neck okay from the whiplash of that reaction?
And it literally took me like a minute to go from "Hello, darkness, my old friend" to "All right, maybe I like this."
Yeah, I mean, and that's the cool part. Like, it's almost like getting on the bus, right? It's like
Yeah.
Like we all had preconceived notions about the Grateful Dead. And at some point we all realized that they're freaking amazing, and you just had a little microcosm of that with Way to Go Home. That's cool.
Yeah.
Congrats.
It's especially that's what I find with tonight's show. If you showed me this set list and asked me in advance which songs I was going to be most impressed by, I wouldn't say Road Jimmy and Way to Go Home and Wang Dang Doodle. But this is a show where songs that I don't always think the highest of are really shining.
Yeah.
Speaking of songs I don't think the highest of, we find ourselves with Corrina. Okay. There's something that I really do like about Corrina. I enjoy that there's the keys it's almost tense, the key part. It's very fast and it's very choppy. And it adds this sense of tension, but the drums are so incredibly fluid and so incredibly dancey. And that disconnect, it almost makes me feel like I'm partying right before something really bad happens. And in this case,
it's cinematic, yeah.
Yeah. And in this case, that something really bad are the harmonies in the chorus.
What do you mean? They know exactly the note they all need to hit. And Jerry Jerry never just scoops his part until he finds it.
No, I refuse to, even as sarcasm, I will not accept this. No.
I reject your sarcasm, sir.
Yeah, be earnest with me and tell me what you really thought about those chorus harmonies and how frequently you thought they knew what note they were supposed to be singing. It's okay, but I don't want to totally knock the Corrina because the jam is a lot stronger. I'm just not huge on this rendition of Corrina, especially from the rough harmonies, and the jam does kind of lose me towards the end. Also kind of a rough, at first I was impressed with the transition into Uncle John's band, and then the rest of the band did not follow Jerry for another 30 seconds, and I found myself a little oh, this transition is not going too hot. But this Uncle John's band is absolutely a grower within the rendition. At first, I was not too impressed with it. It starts off a little hollow. Jerry doesn't quite know the words, but it just gets stronger and stronger. The jam is really fun with the way it plays around with the familiar Uncle John's band chords. On occasion in the jam, you will hear the band get out of sync with each other, but then bounce back hard and be incredibly in sync with each other. And that last chorus has such phenomenal energy. That is how I wish the song sounded the whole time, but it does get there in the end, and that's cool. We get to drums. This is the period where we've introduced synths to drums. It gives it a very 70s prog kind of feel. That's really it, especially with the beam in there. It really blurs the line between drum and space.
Yeah, I agree
and
with
this,
that. I kept checking. I was like,
Yeah.
Are we in drums? Are we in space? Are we in drums? Are we in space?
Yeah, I don't know when I'd have personally put the cut. It's a little it's always going to be a little arbitrary. I usually go with the general rule of thumb that as soon as you start hearing Jerry's guitar, we are now in space. But no, this one definitely blurs that line a little bit. It also, especially with the beam being in there, as someone who most of my experiences catching drums live is through Dead & Company, please don't yell at me, I was born in 1999. This is a drum space that I am familiar with. This drum space makes sense to me a little, it not even makes sense to me, it's just more familiar to me than the drum spaces we hear from late 80s shows. Yeah, exactly. This is a drum space that I would watch on TikTok while also watching video of someone playing Subway Surfer. I don't know if anyone who listens to this podcast is my age, but that joke is going to kill.
Take your word for that.
Yeah, thank you. No, and then I wasn't huge on this space. I wrote that this is a space that makes me understand game's point of view. It was kind of 14 minutes of bleeps and bloops. Anyway. We then get to the last time, which I thought was very solid. They squeeze some really nice energy out of it. It's another builder song that gets better the more it goes on, but Bob's vocals sound great, and the rhythm section is really bouncy, really lively, And then that takes us into one of my highlights of this evening, without question, is The Morning Dew to close the set. It is a very focused rendition. I wouldn't call every song tonight focused, especially the first half of set 2, but this Dew is so... Everyone is firing on all cylinders, and I don't mean that in that they're overplaying or they're giving it like a lot, but they are laser focused on playing just the right notes every time. Jerry sounds great. The whole band really helps just tell the story of Morning Dew through their use of dynamics. Even if Jerry does mix up the last verse, he really brings a lot to this rendition. The ending solo is gorgeous. There's a little bit of vocalization towards the beginning, which makes for a very interesting sound. I liked this Dew a lot. I really enjoyed. This was not, again, you come into a 94 show, you have your preconceived notions, and I kind of assumed, especially towards the end of the night, A Morning Dew might be a little rougher around the edges, but they had it. They brought it. If there is an excellent display of tonight's show, it is the way that they start strong and the way that they stick the freaking landing.
Yeah.
And then a pretty fun Liberty to close. So those are my thoughts on set 2. What did you think, Fig?
Okay. So pretty much in agreement. Definitely don't have as many thoughts.
You're not going to cry about Morning Dew and or Way to Go Home?
No, I cried enough in the first set. But happy tears. Foolish Heart, definitely top probably 3 Grateful Dead songs for me. So I always like it when I hear it on the show. This song was probably less well played than the songs in the first set, and less well sung, to be honest with you. But I really did get excited about the long solo and the jam. And the jam in this one, they don't jam out of the song. They kind of have a middle, I don't want to say middle 8, but it's a middle portion of the song that just kind of swirls and swirls and develops and builds and builds and builds until which is
awesome. They
awesome.
Nailed that.
And tonight. They nailed it. And what jumped out to me was it's really Jerry's, I don't want to say noodling, but Jerry's just kind of riffing, and it's really Phil who's pushing it, and it's not as if it's like a crescendo. It's not like one directional. It's actually there's push and pull between what Phil's doing and what Jerry's doing, but it does get to the eventual like it does get to the final crescendo. It's a really cool thing to experience, a really cool thing to hear. Another thing that Jerry did to kind of increase the, I don't want to say dynamics, but increase like the pressure of that section was he actually changed tone on his pedal. I don't know if you guys caught that, but he actually added some compression and just kind of like just pushed it up a little bit farther. And that was really cool. About midway through that jam, that happened. They nailed the crescendo, and then Jerry promptly forgets the lyrics of the very next verse. But it was in a very adorable way. He was just like, nah, 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 nah. Like it was like what I would do, or it was like a Peter Griffin moment. Anyway, Foolish Heart was it was really nice, but it had its warts. Way to Go Home. I just wrote that I was liking Jerry's tone in this one, but I do agree with what Knob said. It was a very good version of that, and actually well sung by Vince. I'll give Vince some credit there, and it's a good song. Corrina, again, y'all know this is not one of my favorites, but I was really enjoying the middle jam here. I like Jerry's creative guitar noises in the beginning. It was almost like he was detuning his guitar. I know he does this on Corrina a lot, but this is the first time that I kind of actually thought about what he was doing and why I liked it. And it reminded me, it was almost something like you would hear on Jimi Hendrix, Are You Experienced? Just kind of being creative with the guitar in a way that you wouldn't expect. I don't think he was detuning, obviously. He probably had a pedal that was doing it for him, but I think I think Jimmy probably was back in 66, 67. I liked what Jerry was doing, kind of the finger picking during the verses. Jerry was doing some really interesting stuff there. We have a meandering outro that barely transitions into Uncle John's Band, which was a decent version, some good trippy jamming. But it's trippy with Vince actually adding some pretty jazzy chords on his grand piano sound, which was pretty cool. Drums in Space, I liked the beam. I thought that was interesting. Actually sounded like something off of this is I was name drop other bands that I like, but Brian Eno, Another Green World. If you guys have never listened to Another Green World, it's just it's like a mid-70s progressive album with Brian Eno, but like Brian's doing his best through electronic instruments to kind of create soundscapes and create worlds that you can visit, and then that was the feeling that I was getting off of the beam in Drums in Space. The interesting thing about Space was we had Bobby on acoustic, and he actually was getting pretty trippy, and you don't think of an acoustic guitar as a trippy instrument, but Bobby was actually doing it, which was kind of cool. And I'm very sad to say that I did not actually get around, I didn't realize this until I was looking at my notes, to listening to The Last Time, Morning Dew, or Liberty. So you'll have to rewind, and I'll adopt Knob's impressions of those. And I'll kick it over to my friend Game.
Set 2 kicked off with Foolish Heart. And I love Foolish Heart. I don't know if I love 90s versions of Foolish Heart. Just something about it. And not that it was performed bad or anything of the sort. It just doesn't sound like the 80s versions of Foolish Heart. I don't know what the difference is, but
maybe Vince.
It could be. I don't know.
You're just such a Brent head.
I guess so. It's a long, long, long way to go home. Way to go home. Yeah.
It's a very
whatever.
good 94 like grunge goat voice you had there.
Thank you.
Great.
Corrina was there for me. Uncle John's band was good. Pre-podcast recording, I went onto a rant about when does Uncle John's band stop and when does drums begin. My opinion, you could probably take 4 minutes off of the Uncle John's band track time on this, attacking on the drums, and everybody would be happy. So they tricked me and got me way deeper into drums than I normally would go.
Y'all missed an all-timer rant in the pre-show.
That was good. We'll release that on like I don't know, maybe the 100th episode, which is coming up.
Yeah,
the bloopers reel.
Yeah.
Space I skipped once I was mad that I was already listening to drums. The last time, Morning Dew was good. And Liberty, not.
Was Liberty good or not good? Can we get? Because I didn't listen to it. I like Liberty. Yeah, Liberty's fine.
It's good. It wasn't a highlight of the set by any stretch of the imagination, but it was a solid rendition.
Find your own way home.
Find your own way home,
and it is a long, 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 long way
to
find your own way home.
Home theme there, yeah.
Oh, do you think they ever encored with that? No, right? They can't have.
That would
be crazy.
People would riot.
That's like
encoring with Drums in Space or something.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, they're professionals.
All right. It's true. It just references going home, and they love to save those kind of songs for the end, like Liberty, which I like. Okay, I like as a song. It's not an encore.
No,
it's a really fun set one song.
Yes,
I kind of I dig it as an encore. Like I get it. It's it's just like a little after dinner mint.
Yeah. All right, I'll give you that.
I'll give you that.
Especially after Dew, you kind of want, and after you
sober up, go home.
God bless. You're not mentally handling a broke down palace right now.
I will never forget leaving Philly
21.
Was that the one with the Dew?
The one with the Dew. Yeah.
And I left Philly and I bumped into Holy Moly Mischief.
Nice.
And he just had the most spun out look on his face. And he was just like, that Dew.
Yeah. I still rant about that Dew.
And I was like, yeah, it was pretty heavy. It was pretty heavy.
Also, and I know this isn't the point of anything, quite a good sugar reef from that show that doesn't get talked about as much. Gets
Whole show,
overshadowed by an excellent do.
whole show was good.
It was a good one.
We do not have a Scarlet to rate. However, we can rate the studio Fire on the Mountain because we actually listened to that today. And I forget even how we rate Scarlet Fires because it's been so long since we did this.
I think it's out of 10.
Is it out of 10?
It is out of 10.
I enjoy the studio Fire on the Mountain. Is it a 10? No.
No.
Is it
What
as
you say?
good? Is it as good as Mickey Hart rapping Fire on the Mountain? No. Is it still pretty great? Yes. So studio version of Fire on the Mountain, I'm gonna give a 7.
Whoa.
7. Knob Fig, thoughts on the studio version of Fire on the Mountain?
Yeah, I'd say right around there. I was thinking of 6. It's a solid rendition, but it's also only 3 or 4 minutes long, so it's hard to call it like a great Fire on the Mountain, but it's good. It's, for a studio rendition of a Grateful Dead song, it's an incredibly strong recording, but it's never going to be the first Fire on the Mountain I go to listen to if I'm in the mood to like really hear the Dead play Fire on the Mountain.
I don't know if it would even scratch the itch of a Fire in the Mountain, right? Like it's like
No.
I don't know if if you were coming at someone who had never heard of Fire in the Mountain, I wouldn't be like, "Hey, check this version out." And it's the studio version. It's very, very laid back, very kind of island yacht rock. I would say it's yacht rock, sure. We'll raise that specter again.
Wow.
I need to start going.
It's that solo. It's that Jerry solo. That brings it up from a 5 to a 6 for me. It's just very hasty. Like it's just the way he holds the notes. I love the tone, the sustain. Chef's kiss on that one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's better to have playing like this feels like Grateful Dead made for classic rock radio. Like this feels like something you just have in a playlist of songs that you just put on shuffle,
Yeah, your yacht rock playlist.
I need to check. I am a lover of one yacht rock, and I follow a few yacht rock playlists on said service that we shall not mention. And I need to check if
mention we shall notify.
Yes, and
Nice.
I need to check if Shakedown Street is a part of those playlists. I don't think they are.
I don't think it
doubt
would.
it.
You mean
No, the only songs
I don't
Fire
think
on the
that
Mountain
would be. No, I don't think Fire on the Mountain would be. If any song has the reputation of being yacht rock, it is France, where all the ladies dance.
I don't think anybody's thinking of France in any playlist in 2020.
No, and that's exactly why. I don't think you're gonna find a Dead tune in a yacht rock playlist unless we're stretching the definition of yacht rock.
The Good Lovin' off the studio album would
Mm.
be a yacht rock jam.
I could see that. Especially
what?
It
the
is
bonus
interesting
version.
that this album has the reputation of being disco dead when only a handful of songs, I would say, in any way, shape, or form resemble disco to me.
Well, they did it so
Shakedown
well.
Just Shakedown Street and then elements
But like
on some other tunes.
it's a
Shakedown
like,
is so
it's a
disco though.
it's resoundingly disco. Like
It's
they
Yeah.
did it well. Like whatever disco was, in the mid 70s, it really vibed with, to use a 2023 term, the Grateful Dead. Like,
Yeah.
it was that beat. It was that rhythm.
That's exactly this is something that the Dead themselves have talked about, and I get on this soapbox all the freaking time. But the Grateful Dead music at the end of the day is dance music. It's fun to dissect it. It is fun to listen to. It is fun to be impressed by, but you're meant to dance to it. That's the way shows
Dance
are
in
set
the
up.
streets. Yeah.
Exactly. Time after time, that's
They were
what
a
this
party
music is
band.
about at the end of the day. Because
They
even
were
jazz
a
started
party
off.
band.
Exactly. Jazz is dance music, and the extended solos came from people wanting to dance for longer. And the Dead use it in a fairly similar way here. And so disco is such a natural evolution for them because they are so interested in dance. They are so interested in groove. And that
Right.
was the big dance, the big groove of the time. they really nail it
I
on
buy it.
Shakedown Street, and I think that song being the title song, gives the whole album that disco reputation.
I have nothing against disco, for the record. Like, I
No,
think
I'm
disco gets
also
a bad
pro
rap.
disco.
Yeah. I think, like, I think there was a backlash, and that's a product of the backlash. But that backlash happened. You might not believe it, but that backlash happened even before my time, and I just don't
What?
care for it. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Speaking of being pro, is anybody pro this show? Meaning, has it made your Book of the Dead? I will kick off the voting here, and as much as I loved set 1, set 2 didn't do it for me. So that's a big negatory for me. Nopper Fig, has this show made your Book of the Dead?
Something. This was another excellent '94 show, which I never thought I would be saying.
Yeah.
With a straight face. But last week's was an excellent '94 show. Was that just last week? Or was it 2 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, so 2 weeks was an excellent '94 show, and I believe I made that part of my Book of the Dead.
You
So
did.
yeah, I'm not gonna continue that. I don't think I could live with myself.
Um,
But excellent show. Excellent show.
Yeah, I would struggle to call this a Book of the Dead pick by any stretch of the imagination, but I would put it in my book of 94 shows. I do think it only has like a 2-something star rating on the
Really?
archive, and that is too low. It deserves to be rated higher
it a
than it
4.
is. Yeah. But I wouldn't put this in the Book of the Dead by any stretch.
It wonders me how often those rankings get updated on the archive.
That is true. It's just noticeably when you look at all the shows from that run, most of them are like low 3s, and this one is like a 2 point something. Which the ratings don't matter at the end of the day.
No.
But when you're like glancing
they
through
do,
the apps
because-
and looking for a show, if you're choosing between 2 shows, you're gonna go for the 4-star over the 2-star.
And that perpetuates the meme, I guess you could say, of '94 being bad.
Yeah.
And I think we've had our bad '94 shows. I'm not gonna say that. However, it's not a 2. That's very unfair. This is a great show, and I'm glad that we can pick a set for our lovely audience.
It's gonna be set 1, right?
That gets my vote. Yeah.
Yeah, not to really deflate the energy that we had in that segment, but that's the right answer. Set 2 has a lot of good in it, but set 1 is consistently strong.
Who would be your mother trucker of this show? Either of you fine folks may answer at any time.
I think it's Vince. I do, and
Prince
it's not
Vince?
just I do. I think it's Prince
Gang
Vince.
Vinny?
Yeah, Gang Vinny.
Oh, someone had a Gang Vinny comment. Oh, I got to put that in there. Hold on.
Yeah,
that's for next week's show. But the Gang Vinny people
gosh.
are. I know. Yeah, we've spoiled what your next week's show comes from.
It's 94.
But yeah, to me this is a Vince show. Historically, this tape that we listened to, that at least Game and I listened to, was made for Vince by Dick Litvala, and we don't know. Someone touches on this in one of their comments. We don't know exactly why this tape was made for Vince, but this is an incredibly strong Vince show. His vocals are really tight, and his keyboard contributions consistently raise the songs that they're a part of. Yeah, this is a Vince night for me.
I'm going to agree. I'm not the biggest Vince fan in the world. However, I enjoyed him more tonight than I can think of any other time. So yes, Prince Vince gets my vote.
Oh, let's make it a trifecta for the Prince Vince. Yeah, I'm not gonna rock the boat. I do have a lot of Vince, a lot of VWs on my little note sheet here. So
yeah. Also, shout out. Jerry also has a really strong night for 94, and Phil is very on all night. Just to shout out some other members of the band, but this is a Vince night.
All right, to our Reddit comments, we have two this week, and I will take the first one from, of course, Reddit user Cabonius. Cabonius says, 1994. They were touring far and wide that year. 85 dates. You've got to go back to 87 or 81 to find busier years
Wow.
for Grateful Dead touring.
Very interesting.
December 94 feels like a nod to both reality and comfort. 2 stands of 4 shows each, first at Oakland and then at the LA Sports Arena, meaning the band and crew didn't have to travel too far from home to earn a decent take. And like 92 and 93, there were no New Year's Eve shows. So after this short California tour, they could head home for the holidays. Cabonius was finishing up college, and their last final was on the 15th. So they drove down to LA afterward. They were thinking about hitting up the sports arena parking lot, but something made me decide not to be a ticketless horde. Besides, I had mail order tickets for the 16th and 18th. My memory of those shows is they were unexceptional, but solid, at least for 94. I've never heard the show from the 15th. Time to take a listen. Thank you, Cabonius.
Yeah, and I don't think Cabonius actually gave us the reaction, but Cabonius, if you're out there, we would love to hear about it.
And then who would like to take Duckman's 427's comment?
I'm eating popcorn, so I'm going to give it over to Knob.
Well, I'm also eating popcorn, but I'll
What?
do it. I'm brave.
Popcorn meme.
This one comes from Docman427. Another 94 show. They're saying what we're all thinking. It's a pretty solid performance for a show around that time, in their opinion. Jerry's vocals sound a bit weak here and there, but the rest of the band sound good. I really dug the drum space section of this show. Something about those effects they used in the late 80s to 95 I really enjoy. The notes for the Miller soundboard say that it came from tapes made for Vince Welnick by Dick Latvala, the Dead's then archivist. I've seen this note pop up on other soundboards on the archive from Vince's years in the band. It doesn't state if the tapes were made while the Dead were still touring, after Jerry's death, or a mix of both possibilities. I wonder when, where, and why he'd listen to them. Recreational, as a reference for practicing, or just to have some shows from his time in the band on tape. It makes me wonder what Vince thought of the shows when he'd listen to them. He must have liked them enough, if he personally selected the shows.
I could see it being like a NFL quarterback watching tape. You know, it makes sense. You want to know what you did right, what you did wrong. And
especially with Vince being relatively the new guy. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I could see him being very studious over the recordings. I could also just see this being a show he was proud of his own contributions, because, I mean, we all... Not a lot of
caterwauling.
No. Vocally, he's really in the pocket, and he's adding a lot of nice stuff on the keys. This would be a tape I could see him listening to and going, "That's a good night for me."
Next week, we once again get to hop into the way back machine, put on our cool sunglasses. O.J. Simpson at this point is still a good person. And we are June 8th, 1994, once again in the wild and wonderful world of California, this time at the Cal Expo Amphitheater in Sacramento. Taking a quick look at the set list, it looks like this was a Rex Foundation benefit. Half Step, Walking Blues. Nothing that upsets me so far with this set list.
No. Stagger Lee's in there. I'm a big Stagger Lee fan.
I Fought the Law. Never mind.
I Fought the Law.
Answer my own question.
This one is... Oh, I was going to say this one is historically interesting because it's the first Samba in the Rain.
And the last Big Railroad, right?
I think it was the last one think it's the final, but I think it was the first one in a while. It was a pretty big bust out after a couple of years, but I do
yes.
think they
Oh,
played
cool.
it.
I love Big Brother Blues. Yeah.
You're right because it says here 6/23/92. So yeah,
Yeah.
it looks like
Yeah, that's
2
tricky.
years. Looks like 2 years
Yeah,
for Big Wheel.
and also just looking at it, it is bizarre to me that they debut Samba in the Rain out of drum space. I just want to acknowledge that before we listen to it because that is bizarre to read as words, and I'm very excited to listen as music.
I wonder. So this is, and I know we're wrapping up here, so this will be maybe my final point of the evening. But obviously, 1994, the Grateful Dead is an established band, right?
Yeah.
With fans and massive touring and the whole 9 yards.
Stadiums and
Right. How would it be like you're in the crowd and all of a sudden it's like they start playing something that you don't know.
Yeah, that's cool.
And it's like not only do you not know it, no one knows it because it is brand new. Like it always interests me thinking about like, you know, like the first like live Shakedown or whatever, right? But this is 94. This isn't a band that's
still producing.
Right. This isn't a band that's coming out with like new album full of new content every year or whatever. Like
No.
But now imagine that, you know, that's your claim to fame. Like, yeah, I saw the Grateful Dead do a bust out of a brand new song. Oh, Grandpa, what song was it? It's not important, son. Go to sleep.
Did you hear them do the first ever live Terrapin? No, I heard them do Samba.
Let's get down and dirty, he said, and we all just kind of grimaced and shuddered.
Robert Hunter wrote those lyrics.
Oh, stop.
Poor, you know, even the best have some duds in them every now and then. Sorry, Robert. Let's go ahead and do our bookkeeping for the evening so we can get you fine folks to set number 1 of 12/15/94. As always, please go ahead and smash that subscribe button and like and share with any and all of your Grateful Dead loving friends and family. As always, you may find us at wherever podcasts are downloaded. However, if you happen to use a service to view your Yacht Rock playlists and the service happens to rhyme with rocking on your Yachtify, you will not find us on that podcast platform. So once again, we will not be found on the Rocking on Your Yachtify podcast platform. However, you will find us on pretty much any and all major podcast platforms. If you do like to get your podcast the old-fashioned way, please do so at helponthewaypod.podbean.com. If you would like to communicate with us via electronic mail, please do so, like Tom Hanks sending one to Meg Ryan in that silly movie from back in the day. Do that to helponthewaypod@gmail.com. If you would like to communicate with us on Reddit, please stop by the Help on the Way thread at reddit.com/r/Grateful Dead. And we do live on YouTube, youtube.com/@Help on the Way pod. Any parting words from my friends, Knob and or Fig?
Yes, I would like to clarify on behalf of all of us here at Help on the Way pod that Fig is not in fact 45. I believe him to be 43.
I can neither confirm nor deny my age.
And on that note, we thank you once again for listening to the Help on the Way podcast.
Baby, the darkest from your eyes. You know you got such dark eyes. Woo! Nothing shaking on Shakedown Street. Be the heart of town. Tell me this town ain't got no heart. It's gotta poke around. Shaking on Shakedown Street. Used to be the heart of town. Tell me this town ain't got no heart. Just gotta poke around. Shakedown Street. Used to be the heart of town. Tell me this town ain't got no heart. Just gotta poke around. Nothing shaking on Shakedown Street. Used to be the heart of town. Tell me this town ain't got no heart. Just gotta poke around. Nothing shaking on Shakedown Street. It's got a heart of town. Tell me this town ain't got no heart. It's got folk around. Well, it's got folk around. She's got folk around. It's got folk around. It's got folk around. It's got folk around. She's got folk around. It's got Shaking on Shakedown Street. Used to be the heart of town. Tell me this town ain't got no heart. You just gotta poke around. Nothing shaking on Shakedown Street. Used to be the heart of town. Don't tell me this town ain't got no heart. Shaking on Shakedown Street. Used to be the heart of town. Tell me this town ain't got no heart. Just gotta poke around. Used to be the heart of town. Tell me this town ain't got no heart. Top of your knife toe, Annie. Real fast, you're talking Fanny. We gonna pitch a ball down to that Union Hall. Gonna romp and stomp till midnight. Gonna bust and fight till daylight. We gonna pitch a Wang, Wang, Doodle all night long. 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 We gonna pitch a Wang, Wang, Doodle all night long. They call old Mr. Pete. Tell everybody he neat. Tonight we need no rest. Gonna really throw a mess. Gonna knock out all the windows. Gonna kick down all the doors. So we gonna push your Wang, Wang, Doodle all night long. Sound. Really everybody gonna jam. The shaking box car Joe. He's sawdust on the floor. The shaking until I die. Gonna have one heck of a time. But when you bitch in beauty, yeah, these snuffles everywhere. So we gonna pitch up way, dang doodle.
Way down along Sycamore Slough, a white man sings the blues, selling roses of paper mache made with sunlight dew. Took a punch to it your way, hazy moonlight way down along lazy river road. Way down upon them long fall and the avenue. Run hide seek in your own backyard. You know mama's backyard won't do. All night long I sing love's sweet song. The hazy waters flow way down along lazy river road. Moonlight rains as hound dogs bay, never want to catch the moon. Stars fall down in buckets like rain, and there ain't no standing room. My cold dark scars, train by train, scattered wild dreams unfold. Way down along lazy river road. Way down upon Seminole Square, ready of the river tide. Call for me, and I will be there for the price of the taxi ride. Lifetime double clutches into the day, like a truck down the ship in the slow. Way down along lazy river road. Moonlight waves as hound dogs bay, never quite flash the glue. Clouds fall down in buckets like rain. There ain't no standing room. Nighttime bound, hey, by train, clatter while dreams unfold. Way down, down along lazy river road. Thread the needle right in the eye, thread that runs so true. All the others I let pass by, I only want you. I ought to care much for careless love. Oh, how your bright eyes glow. Way down, down along lazy river road. Way down, down along lazy river road. Way down, down along oh, lazy river road.
Well, me and my uncle went riding down South Colorado, West Texas bound. We stopped over in Santa Fe, got been upon just about halfway. Ain't you know it was the hottest part of the day. I took the horses up to the stall, went to the bar room, ordered drinks for all. 3 days in the saddle, you know my body hurt. It'd been summer, I took off the shirt, and I tried to wash off some of that dusty dirt. West Texas cowboy plays all around with liquor and money, plays loaded down. So soon after payday, no it seems a shame. You know my uncle, he's got to play the game. He'll have old Jackson when it takes that shit. Started winning, Cowboys got sold. One of them called in, then two more. Accused him of cheating, well, I'm known it just couldn't be. I don't know. in my bad baby. One of them cowboys who's got to go. Well, I shot him down low. He never saw. Shot me and never. But damn it, he won't go. In the confusion, miles about to go. We hightailed it down to Mexico. All of them cowboys, all of them go. But my uncle, God rest his soul. So I took a look, taught me all I know. Brother so well, I grabbed that gold. And I left his dead ass clear by the side of the road. Back in an old saloon with a peso in my hand, watching mothers and children on the street. And I catch the black eyes girls giggle when I smile. There's a little boy and they want to shine my feet. In the 3 days that I've been Bakersfield, and I don't know why I came. I guess I came to keep from getting in. So instead I got a bottle and a girl is just 14. The Mexicali Blues. Yeah, is there anything a man don't can lose? When the devil wants to take it all away, cherish well your thoughts, keep the night grip on the booze. Just thinking and drinking on all I have today. Hey, hey. Well, she said her name was Billie Jean, and she was fresh in town. I didn't know her stage line around the bell. She had raven hair, a ruffled dress, a necklace made of gold. All the French perfume you care to smell. She took me up into her room, whispered in my ear, "You're my friend, do anything but you." Now I'm paying for those happy hours I spent there in her arms. Lifetime's worth of the Mexicali Blues. Yeah, is there anything a man don't can lose? When the devil wants to take it all away, there down to those dusty streets. Blood was in my mind. I guess that stranger has me heard of him. I shot the first and killed him. Lord, it didn't even stop. Now spend my lifetime running with the Mexicali Blues. Yeah. Is there anything the band won't tell you? When he got a woman holding in her hand, you just might find yourself out there on horseback in the dark. Just fighting rolling across the dead sand. Yeah.
Catch a rabbit by his head. Now people like to walk on it. Get back home where you belong. Don't you run off no more. Don't hang your head and let the two-time roll. Crash not too fast, not too slow. I say roll, Jimmy, roll. Gonna get there, I don't know. Seems a common way to go. Get down the road, 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 road. That's the way it's been in town ever since they tore the jukebox down. Two-bit piece don't buy no more, not so much as it done before. And I see roll, Jimmy roll. Gonna get there, I don't know. Seems a common way to go. Get down the road, 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 road. I say road, Jimmy road. Gonna get there, I don't know. Seems a common way to go. Get down the road, 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 road. Say road, Jimmy road. Gonna get there, I don't know. Seems a common way to go. Get down the road, 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 road. I say road, 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 road. Oh, get down the road, 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 road.
Got my home in Norfolk, Virginia, California on my mind. Straddle that ground road path, probably on across Carolina. Stopped in Charlotte, bypass, rocketing whenever was a minute late. We was 90 miles out of Atlanta by sundown, rolling across Georgia State. We had no trouble that turned into a struggle out way across Alabama. The helm broke down, left us all stranded downtown Birmingham. move it back just a little bit.